What's going on, everyone? Only Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs as they've been on an absolute tear as of late. The Leafs have looked really good, especially on this road trip, in which they took every single one of these road games. They've won four road games in a row, and against good teams, the Devils, um, the Wild, the Penguins, and the Red Wings, and you take a look at the Toronto Maple Leafs over the past 8 games, they have had a point at least in each of the last 8 games, taking us, of course, all the way back to that game where we lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins at home, and you take that game away, the Leafs have points in 13 of the last 14 games. So the Leafs have been on a really good stretch lately. 7-1-2 in their last 10 games. They're 14-5-5, and they're getting back to where they belong. And a big part in that is goaltending. Matt Murray has been just fantastic for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's been everything we could have asked for from the goaltender. In 7 starts, he's 5-1-1 with a 2.43 goals against average, a 927 save percentage. He's been really good. He had 42 stops in the game last night. He's had some big save nights. A 42 save win, a 25 save, 34 save, 32, 35. He's had some big save nights, no question about it. And the Leafs have a few guys that could play between the pipes. You take a look at Erik Källgren, who's probably the worst of our goaltenders. He is the guy who's played the most games for the Leafs. He's played 10 games. He started 9 of them, and he's got a 3-2-4 record with a 2.67 goals against average. And then, of course, you have Samsonov, who in 8 starts is 6-2 with a 2.23 goals against average. So the Leafs, between the pipes, we thought that it was going to be a big question mark. I don't think there's a question at all. I think we have 3 really good guys, and if anybody goes down, like in the situation we're currently in with Samsonov out of the lineup, you have Erik Källgren to come in and be a good, respectable goalie. But taking a look at the players and what they've been able to do, the team, the Leafs have 4 guys who have more points than games played. Of course, Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and Nylander. Those are the big 4 that we all expect that from. But they've been doing some really good things that you don't really see on the stat sheet, and that's being a 200-foot player. Each and every one of them. They play about 20 minutes a night, and they've really enjoyed and embraced that, in those minutes. As Maple Leaf fans, we all wanted Sheldon Keefe fired, including myself. I wanted him to be fired when the Leafs were on that tough stretch. I thought that he wasn't the man for the job, and I thought Barry Trotz was the guy. And I'm not saying that I'm totally sold on Sheldon Keefe, but I think a lot of this success has to do with him. I mean, the team doesn't just turn around overnight. It's good coaching. The Leafs are getting a lot of production from a lot of guys in the lineup. Even if it's not on the score sheet, there's guys doing the little things that are leading to wins. And you take a look at what the Leafs have been able to do with no Jordy Ben, with no Jake Muzzin, with no Morgan Riley, with no TJ Brody. Those are 4 key defensemen and our top 3 defensemen. We've been able to really do good things without those guys. So it's really exceptional what the Leafs have been able to do. I'm really sold on this Leafs team. I really am. And really, everyone always, laughs at the fact that, the Leafs are good again this year. They're contender. The Leafs are the best we've seen them, but this is a good Leafs team. They're playing really well. And the difference here is Matt Murray is a goaltender who's been there before. He knows what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. He knows what it takes to win a playoff game or a playoff series. We have that experience in net. And I think the Leafs are set up, not good for not just this year, but long term, of course. We all know we're their 4 superstars and really our 5 superstars if you want to include Morgan Riley. But, in terms of the goaltending, we've never been set up this way where we're not only set up, for this year, but for years to come. Samsonov is a restricted free agent. We have Murray for a couple more years. The Leafs are really in a good spot. Dubas did a good job with this team. And the Leafs are going to be a team that, yes, we're behind Boston. We're 3 points behind them. But I really do think that the way that the Leafs are playing, we're going to catch the Bruins, who they've only lost 3 games all season long. But, the Leafs have just been able to, even when they lose games, they still manage to get a point, right? They have those 5 overtime losses. They have as many overtime losses as regulation losses. So that's a big stat. Not that it's a good stat because that means on 3-on-3 you're not great, but at least you're able to still, when you lose games, get a point. Those are 5 big points right now, and those are 5 points that separate us between the Tampa Bay Lightning, who really it's 6 points, but those 5 points go a long way. They really do, and everyone's really playing well, including like I said, our core guys. Now, Auston Matthews isn't playing to what we all thought and expected him to be. He has 11 goals in 24 games, which is still very good. There's no question about it. He's still on a 40-goal pace. But Mitch Marner's has been great. He really has. Even Matthews has been great. Matthews, he has 15 assists, and they're good assists, right? We're getting a lot of production from these guys, even with what you don't see on the stat sheet. Marner killing penalties has been huge, right? He's been really good. John Tavares, who everyone thought was done and washed, he's just really proven that he's really good. Nylander, same thing. 13 goals, 12 assists for 25 points in 24 games is really good. This Leafs team is really, really doing a lot of good things out there. And we're looking like a team who's tough to beat. We really are. We got a couple big games coming up. We have the Sharks at home before we go on the road for the Lightning and Stars. So these are big games coming up for the Leafs, and it's early in the season still. But we're gonna need to win these games. Every point matters. Right now just as much as they do in March and April. So these are big games, big points, and the Leafs are really playing well. And I think this is the season. If we can continue to get this consistent goaltending, I think this is the season that we're going to be able to take it over the hump. Because really, I've said this before, like the Capitals and the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think the Leafs are in the same boat as those teams were years ago, where you can never get over a hump, and then once you get over that hump and win a playoff series or two, you're going to go all the way. I really think that about this Leafs team. I have a lot of confidence in this Toronto Maple Leafs team. I really do think that if they can win a playoff series, they can go a long way and make a deep run, which I think they will because they have the goaltending this year better than we've ever had it before with Matt Murray, of course. Between the pipes, I think Dubas has done a really, really nice job. He's done a really good job, and we still have the trade deadline to even improve even more and maybe get another defenseman. So, obviously the Leafs have been really good. But I want to know what you guys have to say down below in the comment section. What do you think about the Toronto Maple Leafs right now? Do you think this is going to be a team that's going to be able to get over the hump and win a playoff series or two, or even get all the way? I think that the Leafs are good enough to get over that hump and make a run in the playoffs. But you guys let me know all the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys on the next video. And as always, go Leafs, go.